Who's observing well right now? Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Golden Aura. It is Dragon Kites's herO. This is the grand finals, the best of 5. His opponent in the upper left, it is Dragon Kites's Dark. Sorry, not using the mouse or keyboard at the moment because of the cat in my arms. At some point, I will observe again. I'm sure he'll be sick and tired of being held. But for now, cat is more important than observing StarCraft. Do you know what I mean? He's being incredibly adorable. I'm hoping we get a meow on the microphone, but so far, no luck. He knows. You know, he knows you're listening. What is that drone doing, Dark? Dark? Dark, this was supposed to be a macro opening. Dark, I can't use the mouse and keyboard right now. Why are you doing this to me? All right. Now, Dark's not going for a pull with this. This is just a good old-fashioned hatch block. So here's going to be able to pull probes and just get the kill. Or force the cancel, rather. But this is annoying. Very annoying for herO to deal with. I love that Dark still does this. We don't have a lot of Zerg players that still do this regularly. But the fun thing is Dark also, he will do like 12 pulls with a proxy hatch. He will proxy hatch and get aggressive. But he'll do this one too. Just block the Nexus with the hatch. Kind of mess up herO's build order. And Dark loves to play weird games. Yeah, I've been given my arms back. Dark loves to play weird games where we get to like a normal game state, but maybe not in a normal way. So herO's build's a little bit messed up now. It's not in like too crazy of a spot, but it's definitely not where he was planning on it being. And even if Dark's build gets messed up, Dark doesn't really mind. Like, Dark is more than happy to play in like a lower economy kind of setting, or like where the timings don't quite match up. I get the feeling Dark doesn't actually care about any of that. He just wants this game to get a little weird, to put herO in a bad spot. He would rather be in a bad spot with his opponent also in a bad spot. He wants the game to be scrappy sometimes, and he'll do what he needs to make it happen. He's also getting a perfect scout on this base. This drone is still alive. This, I think Pig has a particular name for the first drone that goes across the map and like proxy hatches to block and steals minerals, maybe harasses a probe. What is it that Pig calls that drone? The world may never know. But Dark is very good at that. He might be the best. He might have the best annoying drone in the world. Who knows? But this game is just going to shape up. Golden Aura, solid macro map. Things usually get a little spicy when these low ground bases start to get taken. Because then the rush distance gets pretty close. We'll see if we end up getting there. So far, not a lot of aggression from either player. herO's going to go ahead and take his third base, but we're already seeing them expand towards each other. And this is going to bode well, I think, for the attacking player, whoever that ends up being. And if herO's not careful, Dark's going to be able to get the creep spread right across to his base very quickly. Dark, though, is not necessarily known for having the best creep spread in the world. If this was like Solar in this situation against herO, oh, that Adept lived. That's so rude. 2 hit points? Come on. If this was Solar, I would expect the creep spread to already be here and like pushing. Solar, I think, has some of the strongest creep spread in the world. If you watch the recent GSL, you'll know what I mean. His creep spread in those games was actually insane. But Dark doesn't usually focus as much on spreading creep. If he's given time, he'll get it out there. But it's not his priority. That's one of the things that makes Dark, I feel like, difficult to play against. He does not prioritize things. I feel like Dark doesn't prioritize the quote-unquote correct things. Like the most, like, objectively correct things? I don't know, man. I feel like Dark prioritizes his own things, and it can make it really tough to fight against him. But herO just does his own stuff as well, man. He's going to go for glaives, but this is not the glaives that we've been seeing a lot of. 4-gate glaives is still pretty common. It happens time to time. This is going to be 7 gates? 6 gates. No, it's going to be 7. Okay, this is 7. Yeah, 7 gates. Okay. 7 gates of Glaive the Depths with +1 out of herO. He is going to try to just smash into this. And if Dark doesn't have enough roaches out, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. This is going to be a lot of very powerful adepts coming across the map. Ooh, there's no Robo. The Robo just went down. So there's not going to be any Warp Prism with this. So herO's going to have to warp in back at home. Any reinforcements. The adepts finish this shade. They're going to start diving on top of this, getting a couple of the drones. The lings come into play, but they're not going to last very long. They're just trying to buy time for roaches to come out. Then those adepts are just going to shade. Oops, sorry, they went into the main base. Trying to get some more damage here. The Oracle's diving into this third, getting a few more kills, up to 8 drones going down already. Roach is having a tough time chasing this. It's why you need the lings as well. We're going to see herO start to just target down drones, and he is getting a lot of, I mean, this is insane amounts of damage already. 18 drones going down, and herO is in the third base again, hitting the drones in here, stopping all of this gas mining. 24 drones going down as these adepts shade out. It looks like the adepts that were in the main and natural went down, but that is 24 drone kills, 29 in total for the 15 adepts. Now, granted, Dark is going to be able to have these +1 roaches out. Those are going to be a pretty powerful army. The adepts don't stand up particularly well against them in like a straight-up fight. But, oh, sorry, I need to change that. There we go. But herO's got Blink and like +2 on the way. He's going to take a 4th base back at home. I think herO's in a perfectly fine spot to defend if Dark tries to counterattack. Dark, realizing he's in kind of a bad spot, he's going to get some Infestors out. I like the Infestor choice, especially for Dark. His spellcaster control is pretty damn top-notch. And he's going to be able to potentially get some big value out of those Infestors. If the Stalkers can't blink, they're not nearly as good. Stalkers are only good because they have Blink. Oh, that's a nice start to the Infestors, though. Be able to get one of those Oracles. Does show here that the Infestors are here. They're ready to go. herO's getting into Colossi. I'm surprised herO's pushing out right now. I think maybe he's thinking Dark is just trying to drone up off the back of this. Maybe wants to put some pressure on, stop it from droning freely. Because if Dark is able to just drone while they're macroing, he'll be able to get back up to a good worker count. But so far, he is still down 10 workers. And herO threatening to shade through. He's going to dive in. Needs to be careful of those fungals. But so far, not eating any of them. Dark's going to push him back down the ramp. I don't know if herO wants to stick around. He is about to have +2. And it looks like he does want to keep fighting this. The Colossus is here. Gets the tag off. He knows where the 2 Infestors are. He can try to dodge those fungals. There's one fungal hitting. The Biles connecting beautifully, and down goes Mr. Colossus. But does herO have enough to keep pushing anyways? The army supply is in Dark's favor. He's going to blink forward, but the Ling's getting on top of these Stalkers. I don't know if I love this move for herO. He is going to be able to target down a lot of these Ravagers. Drones coming off the line. herO's down still, and the army supply is going to lose that Immortal, losing most of his army here. And he is going to be forced to retreat. Pretty bold move there from herO. He's going to reinforce. Big fungal on these Blink Stalkers, but not a ton to punish them this time. They'll be able to blink away. Colossus helping out, and I think the Infestors actually went down there. I don't think either of them survived. No, they did not. herO taking a 5th base behind this. There's no 5th base for Dark. He's just expanding so cavalierly, so brazenly as he continues to reinforce this push. herO, it's like he smells the blood. He wants to keep this pressure on. He's got some charge lots looking to run by into this base, but they'll get cleaned up and pushed away. And I think herO is realizing how far ahead he is economically. He's still up 5 workers after all of this. +3's on the way for both of them. There are lurkers coming out for Dark, but disruptors are already on the way for herO as well. So I feel like herO's in a good spot to deal with this. It looks like Dark's plan is to turtle. So I think he's going to be going for value here. It's Dark's plan. He already has traded better. herO, again, he's been pretty cavalier with his attacks in, just going for it, feeling like he has the advantage and he can pressure. And I think he has had the advantage, but it's allowed Dark to trade very nicely. Again, that creep spread not really getting very far out there for Dark. herO keeping it back a little bit. But now Dark, he's got a 5th and a 6th base on the way up. He's got these lurkers out. He's got a Nidus Worm on the way. And Dark is going to start to get a bit aggressive on his own here. It's like he's going to try to get an Overseer in. And maybe get a Nidus Worm in the main base of herO. herO's heading towards Storm here. He's got double Stargate on the way, and the Fleet Beacon just finished up. So he's trying to transition to air. Oh, Stalkers are forced to recall. How did that Stalker... That Stalker was in the middle of all the other ones. It's wild. Dark putting pressure on the front here, hitting on 2 locations. It's only static defense down at this base. So Dark's going to dive on top of it. The Super Shield Battery turns on. I don't know if that's going to be enough to hold on here. At the same time, oh, the Overseer is getting hit. No Nidus Worm is going to be going down in the main. Dark's push up here is getting absolutely held. And this is giving time for herO to split to deal with this. But the 4 lurkers here doing a great job on the low ground. herO needs to pay attention. Sends out that first Disruptor Nova, but it does not connect. And Dark, I think he's taking great value over on this side. He's going to Nidus on the north, and it looks like herO is going to be able to clean this up with the Colossi and the Disruptors. Blinks forward with the Stalkers as well. Dark, though, hitting up here once again, clearing all that static defense at both of these locations. He's killed 22 drones. Now the Nidus is here. There's actually nothing in the Nidus currently, but the threat of it is still very powerful. herO probably wants to clear this last lurker. No? Nope. Screw it, he says. Actually, I don't care. I'm going across the map. herO is just F2A moving over here. Dark realizing that that is what's happening, and he's going to try to pull everything back and hold on. The army supplies are dead even right now. It is Ling Hydra Lurker here out of Dark. He's going to morph some more lurkers and just try to hold. herO maneuvering his army a little weirdly. He's going to blink back over to the top side, trying to pick off some of these lurkers. Disruptor Nova not connecting great, but that Storm connects beautifully, damaging just about everything here. The 3 lurker eggs aren't going to get to pop. And it looks like herO might be able to push through this. The army supply is just so in favor of herO as he warps in another big round of Stalkers. And Dark is going to be forced to tap out. herO, with all of that drone damage early on, and then no ability to follow up there for Dark. He couldn't push across with the roaches. He didn't have speed and +1 yet. And herO able to just run away with it off the back of that. Dark tried some fancy moves, some split pushes, some Niduses, but they didn't quite come to fruition. Getting some damage done, but just losing too much of his army. herO recognizing his advantage, pushing across. GG. Simple as that. Yeah, it can be kind of deceptive when the Adepts get in and kill all the drones like that. Obviously, losing 24 drones was very, very painful for Dark. But he did kill a lot of Adepts. However, there's a balance, particularly with Zerg, but this can be true in any matchup, where if you spend your army units to kill your opponent's economy. You're losing that value now in the army units to gain value later by having a better economy than your opponent. That's going to allow you to, in the long run, tech more, expand more, build more units. But that's the long run. So the threat there is the big counterattack from the player who now has the better army, but has the worse economy. And Dark is the kind of player that absolutely will counterattack if he's got that superior army but worse economy. Oh, he'll go for it. He will go kill you. Unfortunately, in that game, he just didn't quite have enough roaches out. Speed and +1 were not quite done yet, and by the time they were, his opponent was on Blink Stalkers and had that static defense up. There's just no way those plain old roaches are going to be able to push across like that. So on to game 2 we go. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have Dragon Kitesy's Dark. And his opponent in the upper left-hand corner taking game 1, it is herO. Senju, you have a great night, my friend. Sleep well. I hope you dream of Officer Bagel and his cute, adorable little face. I'm so happy he's finally hanging out in the cat tree that I set up the cat cam for. But yeah, Dark trying to fight it back, getting into the lurkers. We've seen Dark win games, plenty of games like that, where he is behind, but he's usually very quick to tech. So he's happy to just get into the hive, get some of those value units out. The infestors did find some decent fungals, and he traded pretty well in the follow-up attack that herO went for with the Blink Stalkers. The problem was he was trading slightly better against a player with a bunch more workers who was expanding quicker. And it just wasn't quite enough. And even though Dark did get into those lurkers, herO was keeping pace with the tech. And Dark didn't have the economy to just throw away lurkers like that. He went across the map, did a big attack in 2 locations, which was a really cool idea. And I think if the Nidus Worm had been able to get up in the main base at all, that could have been really sick for Dark. But herO, while he took a bunch of worker damage, he had already gained all the value from those workers that he needed. Cleaning up Dark's army there put Dark in such a tough position trying to defend against the Protoss counterattack. Even though the army supplies were even, it was not necessarily representative of the army quality at that point. And I think the real piece that was missing there for Dark, once his infestors died, he didn't build any more spellcasters. There was no more infestors. There were no vipers, which I think were the real key. You know, when we talk about great compositions in this game, Hydra Lurker is fine. Ling Hydra Lurker, which is what Dark ended up on, it's solid. You know, you can do some good stuff with that. But once you throw Vipers into that mix, Hydra Lurker Viper is like one of the best combinations in the game. And Dark just not getting into those Vipers. Again, his economy just wasn't great. Maybe didn't have the money for it, or didn't feel like he had the time for it. Vipers take a while to gain their value, right? They have to suck up all that energy, and oftentimes they're a little bit late to fights because they're busy sucking energy up from the main or something. So Dark wasn't able to get into those high value units, and I think if he had a couple Vipers out in that last fight, things could have been a bit different. But we'll see if this game changes things up at all. We're on Site Delta now. herO going for a Void Ray opener, not something we see super commonly, but it's happened occasionally. Can be kind of nice, kind of a nice deterrent against like really early roach plays, or just helping out against these lings. Deals with the overlords a little bit better than Phoenixes do. I don't know, I'd be interested to hear why some players sometimes go for a Phoenix and some players sometimes go for a Void Ray in the opener. Void Ray is like safer but more expensive. We have another Glaives build out of herO. 4 more gates going down. Is this the same build? Is he just going to do like the exact same thing again? He's like, you know what worked really well last game? You know, I killed like 24 drones. I guess I'll just probably try that again. He does have 1 less gateway this time. So maybe it'll be slightly less committed. But a big difference here for Dark is he's going to be defending with a Bane Nest. He's got +1 on the way. That +1 is not going to be done in time, though. Kind of worried that neither is the Bane Nest, honestly. He might be able to get some Banelings out, though, right before these Adepts hit. He is making some Lings now. I don't know what he's scouted. It looks like nothing, really. He has no idea what his opponent's doing. I think that Void Ray is stopping any Lings from getting too close, and now the Adepts are shading across the map. 18 Lings on the way. No Banes being morphed yet. This is Dark about to find out that it is, in fact, Glaives Adepts one more time. He's going to start morphing 6 Banes right away. He's got a good number of Queens to deal with this initially and try to fight this out. The Lings are not quite here yet, though. The Queens getting battered and bruised, trying to transfuse to stay alive. Adepts threatening to shade through. The Lings need to chase them, even though they're going to cancel that shade and go over to the 3rd base instead. Not a lot of drone damage so far, and that's the really important thing to watch out for here. These Adepts cannot shade if they're gonna hit the Lings and Banes right away. But now they're stuck trying to fight against these Queens. herO realizes he is trapped. He's gonna go for the recall, losing, I think, 4 Adepts before he recalls out of there, though. And that ends up to be a great hold for Dark, who still is down a few workers, but now he's got these Lings and Banes out on the map. His lair is done. He could start up Bane speed. I would kind of love to see that. And now he can drone kind of freely behind this, right? He's got enough Lings and Banes to hold off against these Adepts. 4th base is done. Yeah, I like this position for Dark. Infestation Pit coming up very quickly as well. So it's not too surprising to see Dark does love his Infestation Pit. Ooh, he's going to try to get in here with the Banelings. He's just going for it. This is a little surprising to see. Can the Banelings connect it all? There they go. Some nice connections there. 13 probes going down. Now, that was a lot of investment, and a big problem here for Dark right now is he just spent all of his army to try to get some economic damage. And what was I just talking about? When you kill a bunch of your opponent's workers, but you lose your army for it. Well, they can counterattack, and Banelings are being morphed, but it's just a few. Dark a little bit late to the Baneling morph here. The Adepts are going to shade in. I think they're going to cancel that shade, though. And it looks like herO is not going to be able to find that value he was looking for on the counterattack. Dark just getting those Banes up a little bit too quickly. Had enough Lings out to really threaten herO. Bane speed's about to finish here. Dark is going for the counterattack. Stalker's going to blink away. The Adepts need to avoid these Banelings, which soon to be roly-poly. The Adepts shade all the way over here, though. Uh-oh, herO accidentally letting that shade finish, and now those Adepts are not there to help protect. Super Shield Battery turns on, though. The Banelings run into a bunch of Stalkers protected by the Shield Battery overcharge, and herO pushes this away. That looked dicey for herO for a second, but then all of a sudden Dark just wasted all of his Banes. He is going super heavy on Lings. 46 out, 20 more on the way. The Hive is done, so he's straight into Adrenal as his +2 melee finishes. But now herO is going to hit in multiple locations. There are some Banelings over here, but just a few. The Lings trying to push away these Stalkers. But uh-oh, that's a lot of drone damage very quickly from these 11 Glaive Adepts. And the Stalkers, it looks like they got taken down. But the Adepts are still a threat. They're going to shade into the natural. Try to find a nice position here. It looks like they're just going to have to take as good of a trade as they can. The Baneling's going to smash them, though. Oh my god, the Sim City of herO really hurting him, or of Dark rather, really hurting him right now. The Lings will finally get some good service area and will clean these Adepts up after about 100 years. And Dark's going to stabilize, but he's down 13 workers on his Protoss opponent. I think herO's in a pretty great spot behind this. The one thing is I don't see any splash damage coming out for him right now. I don't even think he has a Templar Archives. He is just pure Gateway man. Oh my god. Gateway man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land. With the Gateway man. That's it. That's all he's got. He's on like pure Blink Stalker right now. 7 Zealots, 23 Stalkers. I mean, who needs anything else? Certainly not herO. He's got the Temple Archives going down now. As Adrenal is finishing up, these Lings are going to be very powerful. And, I mean, Dark's got an Ultra Cavern finishing. So while there's been a lot of pressure and Dark's taken a lot of damage, his tech is pretty out of control. And look at these upgrades, man. +2 melee, +1 Carapace to just the +1 attack from herO. So herO has spent a lot on these units and trying to take these good trades, but he has sacrificed a lot of his tech for that, right? Very late getting into any of this tech. Archon's just now coming out onto the field, and his upgrades very far behind. But he's at 98 probes. herO. That's actually too many probes. I feel like this is a problem. This is kind of good against the mass Ling, I feel like. But I'm a little bit worried as the Ultras start coming out. The thing is, Dark on 73 drones is going to have a much bigger maxed army than herO. And herO's maxed army is also going to be bad. So this is a problem for herO. Now, he's going to be able to remax in like a heartbeat on the amount of mining he has going on right now. Might need a few more gates. He's only on 8 at the moment, but he's building a few more. But yeah, he should be able to remax very quickly. These stasis traps, oh, they are so brutal. But Dark's going to try to chase him back here. Ultra diving in on this side as well. Oh, no, but it's all alone. No, the poor Ultra. Ling's trying to run by. The Zealot not on hold position. Oh, but the follow-up warp in here, so good. The Super Shield Battery holding on. In the meantime, Ling's and Ultra's trying to hit this 5th, but man, none of Dark's aggression is getting any damage done whatsoever. In fact, Dark has lost 2 drones during all of this. He hasn't killed anything. The static defense holding on beautifully against the Lings. That is one of their big weaknesses here. And while these Lings are going to kill some of these cannons and shield batteries, there's a few burrowed Lings in the main base. I don't know if Dark is getting the kind of value he needs, but as I say that, he is not stopping this aggression. He's not just going for a little bit of aggression, then calling it a day. Dark, he's balls to the wall in it right now, and he is finally starting to find some value. herO is forced to keep units back here to deal with all of this, and that's going to allow this base to be a little exposed. But as herO loses 20 probes, I can't help but think Dark just did him a favor. Like, herO's at 78 workers, guys. That's great. That's a great number for Protoss on 5 bases. And herO's getting a mothership out. He's just going to refill that empty supply with more units, making his army stronger. He's about to have his shield upgrade. Again, herO's upgrades are not great. Dark has 3-2 on his Ling Ultra. I don't know that Ling Ultra is going to end up trading super duper well against herO's army, but I don't know. This is getting really weird here. We have no spellcasters at all for Dark or herO. herO's got 1 High Templar out right now. It doesn't... I don't even know if he has Storm upgraded. He does not. Dark's going to try to dive back in again. It looks like some Banelings coming in here. 14 probes going down. The Ultra's trying to break this, but the Cannon Shield Battery is really helping out. Oh, I love the Oracles working on this as well. And yeah, these Ultras not doing a great job for Dark. Mama is out. She is here. She's putting on her cloaking field. She's keeping everybody hidden. Dark is just going for a full-on counterattack here. Probe's getting pulled to fight with the Super Shield Battery. Is this just base trade time? Are we in base trade mode? I think we might be. Dark is going to take this base down. He's just trying to run away. I think herO just wins this. I mean, Dark's army is just kind of trash. He is getting more Lings and Ultras out right now, but I feel like, I don't know, man. Ling Ultra just doesn't seem like the way. There are 5 Immortals here. There's a bunch of Archons still left alive. There is a Prism, and Dark's just going to tap out. That game got really strange. I don't know that I agree with either player's decisions in that game, but I feel like herO's decisions were kind of a response to the very heavy Ling we were seeing out of Dark. And then because herO was so heavy on Stalkers, Dark was like, maybe Ultras? But I don't know, man. That was a weird one. Dark not playing the late game like I would have expected. That's for sure. Now we're going to get into hard lead for game number 3. And herO is up on match point. He is up 2-0 right now. And it's looking a little rough for Dark. Now, that being said, we have seen a couple reverse sweeps between these guys before. There is no time when one player can't just turn it around and beat the other. These guys are both very, very good. And they know each other really well, too. Which makes for really interesting games. I feel like that game was like the metagame of a metagame. And it felt really weird to watch. And it felt like the decisions were not good. But I feel like it was responding to what each player expected the other to be doing. And so it got kind of to a weird spot because of it. But let's hop into game number 3 here and see if we close this out with a 3-0. I would be surprised if that happened. And a little sad because I always want more games. Yeah, I'm greedy. I'm a greedy chicken. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of hard lead. We're hoping he takes this one because he's down 0-2. It is Dragon Kites Gaming's Dark. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner, his teammate, it is herO. Currently up on match point. Looking good, looking strong. Games have been a little interesting. The Glaive Adepts, like the heavy Glaive Adept openers, have been a little surprising. I feel like I haven't seen 6 or 7 gate Glaive Adept in a while. It's been almost entirely 4-gate Glaives, if we see it at all. And it's usually more like a pressure, and then a lot of it comes down to just sending in 2 Adepts to each base and hoping you can gun down some drones. A very powerful move. But herO committing to it a bit more. Dark defended it really nicely last game, but herO also didn't lose any of those Adepts, so there was no like counter possibility for Dark. And I feel like Dark just ended up throwing away so many lings onto herO, trying to get drones with the Banes, trying to get in there and take a good fight, but just felt like every time herO was defending, he took a way better trade. Yeah, Ultra into lose is a classic build. The thing about Ultras is they can be very good in specific situations, but it's really one of those, like, it's almost a win more thing, where if you are ahead, Ultras can be really tough to deal with. And if you're very close to cracking somebody, you're pressuring and pressuring, and you're like almost breaking through, hitting that Ultra button can just give you that final push you really need. You know, it's a big ling. And all those ling upgrades you've been focusing on really pay off when the Ultras come out and they have like 3-2. But in that game, like Dark was behind when the Ultras started coming out. And while I feel like it was actually an okay choice against the heavy gateway style of herO, I don't know, man. Dark just threw them away. A lot of Ultras died for basically nothing in that game. And Ultras are expensive, man. They are not cheap units. The big thing about Ultras is they can stay alive for a long time, right? They have a lot of health. They have a lot of armor. So I feel like a big part of the value of Ultras, they're also very quick. They're by far the fastest tier 3 unit, is that they can run away from a fight, right? You can start to take a fight, but you don't have to finish the fight. You don't have to lose all your Ultras. And I feel like in that last game, Dark lost all his Ultras. So it didn't quite work out as maybe the Ultras are better used. I don't know. Hard to say. It's a tough situation to be in sometimes when you're like in weird tech and your opponent's in weird tech and you're trying to navigate this field of a game state that maybe you're not in very often. Even these guys who play billions of games. Every game is different. Every game is unique. You're on a different map against a different player. They're going to make different decisions with their units than any other player on any other map. It can become very, very difficult to navigate that. And also, they're thinking the same thing, right? And that's why I feel like it's important to mention that these guys play against each other all the time. Because every decision Dark makes to counter what herO's probably going to do, herO might be like, okay, he knows how I play. I'm going to do this instead of that because that's what I would normally do. And then you just get into this like crazy-ass metagame situation. And then sometimes we need to just like hard reset, you know? And herO's just going for a normal macro opening this game. This is a Blink Stalker off the back of a couple Oracles. Macro build. He's going to harass with a few Adepts. I like this a lot too because there's always that potential that Dark like overreacts and thinks this is another massive Glaives build out of herO. When it's just that same like handful of Adepts harassing that we see with Blink openers. It doesn't look like Dark has overreacted, but it's a nice like setup in the series. Glaive Adepts in the first 2 games. Third game, you just pressure with some Adepts. It almost looks like it could be Glaives. But it's not. It's not. It's just standard macro. I do feel like this could give Dark an opportunity, though, to gain some momentum. Dark has not had any momentum, honestly, really in the first 2 games at all. And anytime it felt like he might find a way in, might find a weakness, just doesn't feel like quite enough. He's never able to like get that foothold that he needs. herO has kind of taken that from him in all these games and taken the momentum early. So in a more macro-focused game, where herO's just kind of harassing a little bit here and there, can Dark gain that foothold? Can he get that momentum going? herO looks like he's going to head towards Colossi here. Blink Stalker Colossus. Now, I remember a time when that was like a weird PvZ combination of units. And like, really only Estrella was doing it for a while. The Blink Stalker Colossus. He made it look really good though. And I feel like that was the early seed in the mind of Protoss players that Blink Stalkers could be really good in this matchup. And it wouldn't be for at least another year when we'd see herO just kind of revolutionize this matchup with Blink Stalkers. But herO scouted this Spire. He knows Dark is trying to head into those mutas. He's going to go for a push, hoping that Dark is saving a bunch of money for mutas. Dark, though, he has been spending all his money. He knows there's a push coming. He's like, you know what? That Spire can just chill back there for now. More focused on defending this 4th base. And herO immediately is going to turn around and walk home, realizing that he's forced Dark not to make mutas, and that works out beautifully for herO. That's exactly the reaction he wanted. He wanted Dark to spend all his money on Roaches and Ravagers, and Dark obliged him. I mean, he needed to, right? He needed to defend there. That was a great pressure from herO. It looked like nothing happened right there. If you're just watching this game and maybe you don't know the intricacies of StarCraft, you just saw the Protoss like move out and then go home. But that was huge in this game. Because Dark, he was trying to take that momentum. And mutas can be a great way to do that. You get in your opponent's base, you harass, put that pressure on, you force them to stay back home. herO completely nullified that by pushing out. And now he is going to try to put some pressure on. Oh my god, the blink forward. herO getting very bold here on these Roaches and Ravagers, feeling like he's got the opportunity to take the win. The Colossus does show up, this Immortal, holding down the ground. I can't believe herO was so aggressive there. That felt like such a mistake, but worked out. He forced the cancel on this 5th base. Dark stuck on 4 for right now. herO's 4th base is almost done, but not quite. And he is going to keep this pressure on. Dark trying to get into position. A lot of that creep spread was hit earlier by herO's harass, so Dark doesn't really have any at all. And now herO's going to attack in this nice little choke point here. Vipers are on the way, but they are not here quite yet. Can Dark push this back and buy some time to get those important units out? I don't know, man. This is looking like a lot of stuff from herO. And he is just pushing through, blinking forward again. The Bile's not connecting. One Colossus does fall. Oh, man, but Dark is down army supply. herO up 2-0. Going for this big push, and Dark not even going to take that final fight. Not waiting for the Vipers. Just decides that's it. It's over. herO takes the 3-0 victory. And while herO has won a lot of these finals against Dark, I don't know if we've had a 3-0 from him before.